your
But no, yeah.
my ornament, my vampire ornament.
You need to wear fangs too, Christian.
That's a terrible example. All right, hey everyone, and welcome back to Fate's End, a homebrew Dungeons and Dragons game driven by fate. I will be your tale weaver for the evening. Let's get into our announcements real quick. First, we want to shout out RPG Sounds. This beautiful sound set that you hear right now comes from RPG Sounds. You should check them out. We also want to shout out Nine Realms Gaming. They create top-notch gaming accessories from the finest woods this realm has to offer. You can visit ninerealmsgaming.com and use our exclusive partner code LIAR10 to get 10% off. We also want to shout out Mithril Armory. They create unique tabletop RPG items for everyone to enjoy on their adventures. You can grab their 1020 and D&D graphic tees on their website now at mithrilarmory.com. That's it. That's all my announcements. Other than this campaign is coming to an end, guys. We got 3 episodes left, if you include this one. It's coming to an end. Y'all ready?
We're all fine about it.
Yeah, sure, totally fine.
Y'all ready
Some of
for
us
this
are
to come
turning
to an
into
end?
trees. Some of us are slowly not sleeping to death. Is that how it goes? Luden's gonna be miserable on a farm alone for the rest of his life. It's all
Maybe.
great. We're having
This
a
is
thing.
not the
maybe.
epilogue episode.
Y'all have no idea what I'm gonna do now. It's right, no daddy.
He's set loose. He could do anything.
I ain't
We're gonna
I ain't
we're gonna
got
come
no
back to
daddy.
We're back to the material plane, and Luden's just gone. He's out.
I'm free.
It's like, I got a free moment. There's no
Said
way I'm wasting this.
I used you guys for what I was using you for. This was the plan all along. Let you leave. This is my.
We're gonna be doing like a big final group hug after we defeat Vera. And and Luden's gonna be like, I cast invisibility on myself and I teleport away, and I never see any of you ever again.
Oh. Don't nod, Christian, don't nod. No.
Well, as we get into these last 3 episodes of Fate's End, let's draw our cards for tonight's episode. Let's do it.
Happy New Year.
Hello, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. I can't do it.
Happy New Year, everybody.
All right. Last session. We had a very intense beginning of the session, with Ludin becoming cursed from the defeat of the Veil Walker, but also being marked with the Hand of Retribution. Now marked and will be forever hunted by the Ekdisi. You all had decided to make your way up to Lacambria to visit Crick. You had shared some words as you shared some goodbyes and some reuniting, of course, since you haven't seen Crick in so long. Esperise had met Crick and had asked him some interesting questions about the book that she had gained, being cryptic that she knew nothing about it as she prodded Crick. And she did find out some additional information about the book and her current situation devolving into the Mother of Hags.
Downstairs, Ludin was accosting a librarian.
Thank you, Corey. Downstairs, Ludin and Praeria, might I add, essentially assaulted a librarian and stole his shoes.
I asked him nicely for things.
I swear we asked for it, and the dude was not willing to give the shoes. So
I mean, it's his shoes, and you were like and Ludin also threatened to shoot him by drawing an arrow on him. So there's that.
he pulled the pen is mightier than the sword. So use the pen to stop this arrow. That's all it is.
The rest of you, you garnered some magic items, one of them being a book, and my doofy, lovable bunch of you thought that going to the Feywild would lengthen the amount of time in the material. Let me make sure I got this right. You thought by going to the Feywild, it would slow down time in the material plane. But the opposite is true. Going to the Feywild speeds up time on the material plane, and you had planned so much around this that I had decided to just throw you all a bone and give you 24 hours to be able to read the book, because I love you, and I am a merciful goddess.
Either way, Ludin would have done, he would have went to the island, he would have looked at Vera and said, one-on-one, right now, let's go.
But this has all...
1v1 me.
This
One
is...
v one me.
It's on site, Earth.
On site. I got
You're
this.
just standing there looking at the dirt and you spit on it. Like, what you gonna do about it?
Yeah. He's practicing in the mirror. Let's go.
Furiously sweeping.
So, therefore, but this has also given you guys the opportunity to say some final goodbyes, and...
Lauren, are you not going to summarize the end of last episode?
Oh, no, I'm not... Give me a second. Yeah, so you went to the Feywild. And this has set you up to say some last goodbyes. Esperise to her brother, Samson to the Feywild. And... Praeria to her family, as well as reuniting with Akron. But most importantly, at the end of last session, as quoted by Finelai, I want to lose it with you! Finelai...
Perfect. That was exactly what I was telling.
Finelai and Esperise decided that their possible last moments together should be spent getting it on.
Yeah, and is that a constitution roll, an athletics check?
God, we're not, no.
No.
I mean, I guess that would get into what you wanted to do in the scenario.
Honestly, it would just be like, Vin, you automatically take 2 levels of exhaustion. I'm just kidding.
Two?
2
levels?
Makes sense.
Very easily overwhelmed.
Wow.
Anyway, for the sake of Mac, I don't know if she's here tonight, but for her sake.
Yes, exactly. So, we return the next morning. So does that mean you guys are taking your long rest here? Or are you planning to take a long rest here? I just want to confirm.
I believe that everyone is taking a long rest. Some of them are doing it in the Feywild, some in the material plane, but we should be back material plane next morning.
Okay. With the long rest, Luden, you're taking a long rest as well?
Yep. I'm sleep over there next to Schnaunt.
Luden, you wake up very woozy. And your AC will go down one more.
Lols. You know what? Luda just goes like, well, there's no point in using this armor anymore. Since my AC is that low. Woohoo! So that's... Boom. Oh my god! I'm gonna die. That's cool.
You wake up next to Snonk, though, Luden, and as you're just, I guess you're just hugging your pork bro. I don't know what.
Yeah.
And you just wake up with his little snonk nose just up next to your cheek, just snoring ever so gently as his little snout nose just kind of rumbles against your cheek.
I let it happen. Why not? We're different at this point. I'd like to imagine that, like, if it went down even more, his veins, like, from the back of that, like, clutched fist, all of his veins, it's, like, spread around his body, and it's, like, all black.
That sounds appropriate.
Like, yeah, he's just like, He's starting to look like Esperise.
You're starting to get this long rest. You wake up. If you've ever woken up like you slept wrong and like your back is really sore or it feels like your shoulder's been dislodged, that's what's Luden is feeling it right now. Like he slept on his shoulder wrong and like as he moves, his muscles are just like very stiff and achy.
All right. I guess he'll get up and still go like do his normal thing.
His normal training.
Yeah, his normal training. Yeah, I guess at this point he will go ahead and take off his armor as well. Let me go down my AC even more. Boom, boom. So his current AC I think is at 11 now. But like I said last episode, I think he's okay. Like, he's not really thinking so much about... I think before all of this happened, Luden obviously was just thinking about get dad, get mom, get, like, basically family and stuff like that, and his outlook on life is just expanded, but it's also not always about war anymore either, and he feels confident enough in himself at this point that it's like, come get me, world. So he's content with no armor.
All right. And so you continue your morning routine training. Snonk just sits. He just sits and watches you, very much like a cat with a laser pointer, except not moving to chase it. When the arrows like go from your bow to the target, just like just watching you as you shoot, and you wait for the group to return as you train.
Yup.
The rest of you in the Feywild, go ahead.
My thing will be very short because I want to spend as much time with Prey and Samson as we can. I think with the book that Samson gave her, they're kind of trading off between Finn and Esperise, reading it to each other once their festivities are completed. And there is a certain point where she is reading aloud to him as they're kind of laying out in the front lawn of her brother's estate. And she realizes that he's fallen asleep, and she tucks some of that half green, half blonde hair behind his ear and reads aloud to him and watches his face. and feels very deeply. And that is when her charisma goes up to 22. That's all I have to do.
You have read the book. As
Yes.
magical books, this particular magical ancient tome works. The moment that you read it, the magic fades from it, and it cannot be read, I believe, in a century or 100 years, around that, before you can gain the benefits of the tome again. And so as you finish the last page, you watch as this kind of like stardust kind of trickles out from the pages onto your skin, and the tome just kind of, like a candle, just kind of goes out and dims.
Hesperus will shut the book, put it in her little bag beside all her other magical books, some of which less trustworthy than others, and lie down to look at the eternal sunset of the summer court.
You put that book next to the other book? You put it down? Do you put that book?
I put it in the same bag. Yeah.
I do want to make a point. As you put that tome next to the Mother of Hag tome that is covered in skin and flesh and eyes, as you place it on there, there is kind of like a slurping feeling or sound as you place it in next to that book, and you watch as little threads of skin and vein begin to go up into that book, as if it is trying to seep and leach whatever remains from it. Like, just pulsating.
Hesperus will
And the
raise
eyes
up-
just kind of roll back.
stand up for a moment, go put the bag of books over by a tree a distance away so she can keep an eye on it, but she doesn't have to hear the sounds. Go back down, lie next to Finlay, and watch the clouds go through the sunset of Summer Court.
I think Finn hears the weird slurping and he knows it's the book. He doesn't even open his eyes. And then she's puts it away. He's like, and you think Snonk is gross. I'm just gonna point that out.
Well, my book does not try to join us for dinner.
Mm-mm.
Well, I would say if I went to a restaurant, I wouldn't bring the book out. That's all I'm saying, I suppose.
Snonk deserves to go to nice restaurants.
She kisses him on the forehead.
That's
That's it. That's all we have to do.
The rest of you, Finlay, as you and Finn, are you going back to Samson's estate, or do you plan to do something else before you return to Samson's estate, before we pan back over to Samson and Prearia?
I think when we get pulled back, we'll be pulled back from wherever we are, or do we need to join back up with them in order to go back?
We can pull you back all together. You don't have to be in the same room if you want.
We were gonna come pick y'all up in the morning.
Okay. I think Hesperus wants to give you guys some privacy.
Samson and Prearia, as you approach your estate, Samson, Prearia, you immediately see, coming down that pathway, seeing in front of that massive estate. Let me switch over so that everyone can see real quick. Samson's estate. But as you kind of walk that path, again, Samson's estate is just rolling fields, beautiful. You know that for the people here on the Feywild, in the Feywild, you haven't been gone long. But it feels like you've been gone much longer, obviously, based on the time in the material plane. So you remember the last time that you were here, just so many tents for this war that was taking place to bring down Elrixis. And there are still remnants of that. There are still individuals still packing up, moving out from the space, and it's a little bit jarring because feels like a lifetime ago, and yet here you are again as you walk through and you see just this, what's left over. And as you make your way down this path, you see in front of the estates, you see a horse, a steed made of vine and wood, very recognizably Akron's steed. And sitting next to little Gwyn, you see Akron. And he seems to be coaching her, teaching her something. You're not entirely sure. And she's just holding like a ball of vines in her hands, as he had promised to teach her magic. And as you watch her squint and focus really, really hard, a vine just kind of whips out from the ball and slaps her in the face. And her little eyes just begin to well up. And she tries to hold it in as much as possible. She's so angry at herself, but some tears just kind of pool down the sides of her cheeks as she very angrily looks down and away and doesn't want Akron to see her cry. And he just kind of gently places a hand on her back and continues to speak with her. And he looks up and notices you all approaching. And as you wave, Samson, and Gwyn looks up, her eyes just brighten, and she just wipes away her face really quickly so that you didn't see that. And she throws the ball to the side and comes running. Her legs are faster than the front of her, and she almost trips and falls as she comes running towards you, Prearia, and will attempt to jump into your arms.
Okay, what do I do with that? Prey is likewise flabbergasted. She wanted to see her family again, but she is, at the same time did not want to see her family again. She is very much not ready. But this might be the last chance she gets, so she is here. And she can't do that. She will do her best to catch Gwyn.
Gwyn comes running towards you. Out of the side of your eye, you look down and you notice that Mountain is no longer in your pocket. Mountain is just like running as fast as he can towards Gwyn as well, with his arms up. And she doesn't even notice Mountain, which is the saddest part. She's so happy to see you. She runs past you. She runs past Mountain, and Mountain just stops and just like looks around, puts his arms down, and just kind of like hangs his little head, and his mushroom kind of droops, and he kind of turns towards you, and somehow his eyes, his little black obsidian eyes seem to glisten. and Gwyn just runs into your arms, and you just see Mountain in the distance just staring.
Oh.
I will say Mountain as I walk to hug Akron and the Gwyn stuff happens.
You pick him Mountain up.
I'll pick him up as I go to hug Akron.
He's just limp like a little gingerbread cookie as you pick him up, and his arms just hanging down, and as you pick him up, he just kind of like very slowly, without looking away from Gwyn, just holds onto your thumb and hugs it.
While she's hugging Gwyn, Frey will just say, "It is good to see you too. Although, I think you hurt Mountain's feelings."
What do you mean, Ria? Well, she starts digging in your pockets, like, where is Mountain?
Frey will nod behind her over to where Mountain is very sadly with Samson and Akron.
Oh, I am so sorry. I did not see you. Oh,
Uh-oh.
Do you
Voice
think?
is out.
Oh,
my is too high pitched.
It's too high pitched.
Gwyn has too much energy for the mics to pick her up.
Just say, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I did not see you, Mountain. Please forgive me." And
I hold Mountain away to protect him from Gwyn.
I am sure Mountain could never be mad.
that you are back, and now we stay, and everything is good. And Akron's been teaching Gwen many tricks. And I am very good at it. Very, very good at it. I know lots of things, and I am strong, and yes.
Is that what we saw just now?
Gwen does not know what you mean.
How is she, Akron?
Akron just gives you a big grin, and he stands up, and he kind of like has his hand on his steed as he kind of has been petting this steed made of vines, and he goes, "She's been a handful, but well worth it."
He'll give like a very proud smile to Gwen.
Gwen just kind of like gives you a toothy grin as well. And Akron looks at both of you. Welcome back. Hasn't been that long.
No, I guess it really hasn't. When did y'all get here? How long was your travel?
For when he's probably been here a day, maybe. That probably sounds about right. You guys have been in the material plane for maybe a week or so. He's been here probably about a day and a half.
Hmm.
And have things changed much here since we've left?
Other than the crowd of people you brought over, nothing much has changed. Your mother, of course, has been very busy.
Yes, I would... do you know where she might be?
She's inside. He just kind of gestures towards the front door, and he explains to you, of course, that the majority of the Rithanalwe family has not settled into the Gloaming Court. They've been here at Samson's estate where they've felt most comfortable recently, and like enough time hasn't passed yet for them to have completely moved into and fix up the Gloaming Court. Like the base of operations is essentially here at Samson's estate as the Gloaming Court is repaired and restored to its rightful visage.
What you got going on right now? It's kind of hard to tell what time it is. I've lost track of the subtleties. Are we breakfast? Is it dinner time here?
Misplay and earn free.
That was Mountain. Those were his first words.
Mountain?
I
just looked down at Mountain, put him back, just give him a little pat back.
So one of the things I had mentioned the end of last episode is that the sun was actually setting in the summer court.
Yeah, so when did that start happening? I get very concerned all of a sudden.
Akron's eyes go wide. Now, essentially.
Just now.
Obviously, I mean, I haven't spent as much time in the Feywild quite as much as you, but I do know that it tends to stay sunset.
Well, have you had breakfast yet?
Yes, but there's still some left over, I'm sure.
You know what? You know what we ought to do, Akron, is you ought to come with me. We need to go find Mama. And I think we all ought to get together for maybe some tea or something and have a quick talk. We'll let these two discuss for a minute. I think they have a lot to catch up on, but we need to go find Mom and maybe set up some sort of get together so we can talk to everybody, yeah? Before we get on out of here. Um, yeah, can you help me out with that?
So when you say mom, do you mean Prearia's mom?
Yeah.
Okay, it's just
I don't have a mother. I was born from a baby's first lie.
It's just weird having Samson. I feel like even if Samson had a mom, he would call her by her first name, like Loretta or something. It's weird hearing him say the word mom. Yeah, so Akron kind of nods and he opens the door and kind of gestures you all inside. The dining room essentially has been turned into kind of like a planning area, and there's of the surrounding areas of the Gloaming Court, what's been damaged, what needs to be fixed, and you see Prearia's mother. She is with her father. They're kind of looking over the plans. There are some lesser fae that are kind of standing around here. You see the fawn that you gave essentially a bomb dynamite stick to, standing there. She's just kind of writing notes and basically taking notes of everything that's happened, everything that's being said, and your mother looks up at you, Prearia, as you all enter, and she smiles, and she sees Gwyn just kind of skipping along next to Akron, holding his hand, and like she raises an eyebrow and gives her a very stern look as she enters as well. And she just kind of stops stops skipping and puts her hands down and kind of puffs out her chest a little bit. Prearia, welcome home. And you, Samson?
Hello. I hug her.
You go up and you hug.
I go up and I hug her.
She kind of she
Do you
goes.
say, "Hey, mom," as you do so? Do you call her mom to her face?
I don't. I say madre like Prearia would.
You go up and hug her, and she does get very tense. Like Prearia's family, they aren't the hugging type.
we can fix that.
And she just kind of exhales very abruptly as you do so, and she smiles as you kind of step back, and she goes, "It is good to see you, Samson. Have you all taken care of what you meant to take care of on the material plane?"
You could almost say that. We just we wanted to come by and give a quick check-in before we kind of wrapped up the last leg of all this. Do you mind having lunch with all of us? That'd be fine. Or are you busy this afternoon?
I will make time, of course. I did not expect you coming, but I will make time. You are very important to me.
Thank you. We just thought, after you've been away for so long and then to come back, you miss the taste, and so we try to come back as often as we can. So I mean, nothing special, right, Prey? But yeah, well,
Prey's been very tight-lipped, and she's just gonna not exactly make eye contact, but she'll defer to Samson. She's like, yeah, sure, what he says. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, well, everything's fine. We just missed all your smiling faces for a little while. Far too long. That's what it is.
She nods, and you see the little fawn skitter out as she goes, and she gets the servants from the Gloaming Court that you rescued from the Gloaming Court to prepare something for lunch for you all. And she has the maps and the sketches and the scrolls pulled back off the dining room table, and lunch is served to you all. She actually kind of leans forward and she goes, "I do apologize that I turned your dining room into a study. The table is very large, large like rocks, and it suited us. But it is your home, and I do hope that I have not taken too many liberties."
Liberties! And I stand up and run away upstairs to my room. Like I've just remembered something.
Did I did I say something wrong, Ria?
I think he's fine. She's just staring after Samson, like, what are you doing? He will, he'll come back. Just gives like a half shrug.
She just kind of like, she looks like she's pretty stone faced and hard to read, but she does look a little bit like concerned.
Is he?
So
Anytime soon.
yeah, Samson, do you?
I run away an appropriate enough amount of time for Priaria to talk to her family in private if she wishes. But I also go to my room to grab 2 things. But I wanna go to Priaria and her mother and whatever Prey wants. To give her a moment in a nice place.
You are here to say goodbyes and kind of like the thunder before the storm. So if there's anything you would like to say to your mother or your father, now is the time.
So it's just those 3 in the room?
Your mother, your father, Gwyn, and Akron are in the room at the moment. And you, of course.
Okay. I think Prey will put Gwen down and look to Akron and just and say, Akron, do you think that maybe you and Gwen could do like a show of the magic that Gwen has learned?
Oh, I mean, it's only been a few days, but yeah. Gwen turns because she already has like that kind of same pale mossy type colored skin that you have, and she turns a little bit like purple, and she kind of looks down and like twiddles her thumbs very nervously, and Akron looks at her and just kind of nods like,
Oh, not just at the moment, but if you wouldn't mind, maybe preparing something for later.
with
Like she's trying to like get him to leave
gotcha.
the room with Gwen.
And he has very high passive insight. He looks at you and he kind of like, right, when I know just what we're gonna do, and don't you worry. And he kind of like puts his arm out, and she takes it, and she just kind of like clasps onto him, and you see her frantically whispering into his ear, like, I don't think I cannot fail. Don't let me. You have to do it. Pretend that it is me, and she and like he just kind of like pulls her out, and you are left with your mother and your father.
She'll just kind of watch them go, and then she'll turn back to her parents, and she'll let like the full worry of everything show on her face.
What is wrong, my death cap?
And the entire speech she had in her mind, everything she wanted to say to her parents, just kind of erases itself from her brain, and she goes to maybe try to smile, and it just comes out as a grimace, and before she knows it, she is just crying. She is just weeping and holding on to her parents. And I don't think she's cried like this since she was Gwen's age. And for a few minutes, she will just let herself feel everything.
You stand with your parents and just let loose the floodgates. And your parents are the type of individuals, they're not super emotional, but when stuff like this happens, they know that the best thing to do is to not talk and tell you what you should be feeling or doing, or asking you prodding questions. They know the best thing to do is to be that steady oak and to listen and to be what you need them to be at the moment. And so they don't say anything, but they wrap you up in a hug and just let you cry. And your mother just kind of puts her hand on the back of your head and just cradles your chin into her shoulder. And your father wraps his arms around you both and lets you cry. And you share that moment with your parents.
This will happen for several minutes, and when she finally calms down enough, she will show them how the price has progressed. I don't know how to tell them. I don't know.
Tell them what? But yeah. And she just cradles your chin between her fingers.
Even if what we have to go back to do, even if I live, I don't have very long, and I thought I could handle it. I thought I was ready. I thought that I knew the risks and I could do it, but I don't think I can.
What do you mean? You speak in riddles. You are strong? We'll come back. This I have faith.
She's kind of nods, but she still doesn't want to say outright to her parents. But she takes a breath and just says, "I'm going to die." I'm going to die.
Why do you speak this way? You will upset your mother. Why do you say such things?
It's true. There's nothing I could do. I love you, and I thought I could do it if it was for you because I love you so much, but I don't know how to say goodbye to everyone.
Why do you think you are going to die?
Look at me.
Do you take your gloves off and stuff?
Yeah, she shows them everything.
Your mother kind of holds your hands and kind of turns to see your palm and just really scrutinizes every detail of the wood grain of your hands turning into wood up to your elbows. You rip down the side of your collar to show it coming up the sides of your neck. And your mother just kind of very quietly places a hand over her face and looks at your father. And for the first time in your lifetime, your mother, you see tears coming down. You have never seen your mother cry. Never. And she just begins to kind of inhale and exhale very rapidly as she tries to hold herself together. And your father kind of pulls her in closer. She never takes her eyes off of you, and she just grabs you up and just pulls you in tightly. And she goes, "Ugh. You don't know how much I love you. I am so proud of you. I know that this was hard. I am angry and I am proud in a whirl of feeling, and if it were I would save you all. If I wore your shoes, if I held your staff, I would do it all the same, my sweet one."
She just starts crying again.
I cannot bear to see you in this way. Please tell me is there something I can do? Any of us can do. There must be something we can do.
She's shaking her head. I think Samson thinks there's something, but I don't. I don't think I can hope for anything.
You are more queen than any queen has ever been. No one can make decisions like this. It is not an easy thing to do. And she kneels before you, and so does your father, and they hold your hands in theirs. And she forces a sad smile as tears just pour down her cheeks. She says, "I am proud to call you my queen. And though I have not said it, I love you, my Praeria. And whatever storm heads our way, there is no running now. You will not be sent away. We face everything together. My greatest regret is sending you out. This time, we face it together." And she just kneels and just kind of holds your hand to her cheeks.
I love you too. I love you all too. Don't ever let them forget, okay?
She shakes her head. Never. And she stands up, and your father, and embraces you in another very big warm hug. They pull you over to a fireplace in this massive banquet hall. And what I imagine is you spend the time together because time is precious. Which is ironic for the Feywild and all that live here. How time is almost non-existent. A folly of a concept. Because it doesn't really apply. But time here with your parents is more precious than it's ever been. Because each grain of sand is falling. And you don't have much of it left. We pan over to Samson.
Samson. Samson was. Samson knows we don't have a lot of time, and he wasn't going to waste too much of Prioria's family, their time, on himself. If he survives all this, he'll be able to come back and say, hey, and if he doesn't, they don't care about him like he cares about them. And so they'll be okay. So Samson, after making quite the dramatic exit, rounds the corner and comes into a small walk. Or a soft walk. Quiet. And he'll walk through the manor and through the estate to all the various places, and he'll walk through the library and the study, kind of taking a quick tour and walk around his home just to make sure he wastes plenty of time so that Prioria can say and feel whatever needs to happen. And I like to imagine that with the Rithanawe family in place, that the manor has moved from this ghostly tomb into a place of at least a little bit of vibrancy. I hope that there are children running around. I hope that there are permanent members of the guest rooms. I hope that I have more than one fork at this point.
If you look at where your silverware is typically kept, a lot of it is missing.
Missing is better than non-existent. So I like that a lot. At some point, I like to think that Samson would make his way to where his Beauty and the Beast West Wing is, where his room is that no one touches, that is supposed to be all of his stuff that's very personal, that is reserved exclusively for him. And, you know, make no mistake, it's still a crypt. If no one helped it, Samson certainly did. And this is where ghosts live. This is where dust settles. And I like to think that Samson steps into that past, the before, and he'll sit on the bed for a little bit and kind of remember his space. And from his bedroom, he's going to take two things. On the bookshelf near the window, there are all of Samson's most important stories. Is exclusively works of fiction that he loves and journals from his time in the army and people that he's known their lives. He's an autobiography kind of guy. And from that shelf, I would imagine probably somewhere near the bottom where all the old books are kept that you find sentimental value for, but aren't actually readable anymore. He's going to pull his illustrated copy of Mommy's Monsters, which is a Feywild kind of Beatles and Grimm style fairy tale book about all the things and all the creatures the mother of hags has destroyed and ruined. All of those stories about for the Fae, all the things that go bump in the night. He'll take that and pocket it. And then he'll go to the wardrobe, where all of his clothes are kept in old uniforms from his time. And he'll walk right past that and he'll go to Thallon's. And he'll open that up, and inside there's the uniform that I think Akron wore. Or maybe it was the uniform that was there when when Samson pulled the animated shield off the wall for Akron. And on Thallon's old uniform, there is a little lapel sort of pen with, it looks like a sunrise, and it's made of this river stone. And he'll pull that off the uniform and pocket that as well. And when Samson feels enough time has passed, he'll return back to the brunch.
You return, and things have definitely lightened up. The emotion is still there, and of course seen on both of her parents' faces and on Prearia. But the bulk of it has been expelled. And Prearia, you watch as Samson walks back in.
Hi, so sorry. I was just reminded of something. Anyway, was everybody okay? Give him one of these.
Prey just gives him a look.
The look.
Just like, yeah, no.
Oh, so they know now. Yeah? I come in and I'll restart the group hug. we're gonna redo it again.
They are being in the emotional state that they're in. They definitely pull you in.
I will look at Mama Rathanale and I will say, do you remember way back when I told you that I would and could make sure she stayed safe out there, yeah? You remember that?
She nods silently at
He
you.
raises an eyebrow.
I don't like to make promises I can't keep. And I'm so sorry, but I think I have to back out of this one now. You know I will do everything that I can, but I'm so sorry I can't leave here knowing that if we were to lose her too, I'd break a promise as well.
They look at you solemnly, and then back at Prearia.
He's just smiling sadly at Samson.
And her father does essentially what Samson has always done. And he places a hand on your shoulder, Samson, and he looks you in the eye. And he goes, "She will not be here if it was not for you. None of us would be here if it was not for you. You've already promised and fulfilled so much more than we ever could say.
It's okay, Sona.
We'll be back. Right? And we're here tonight. So, I mean, of course, we'll stay, and you know, it is my house after all. But this is not the end of times, right? Right?
They kind of they don't nod, but they do look out the window when you say that as the sun continues to go down.
I'm gonna look at Prey and like smile fake a little bit, be like, right?
Right, yes, we despite the occasion, we do intend to win.
We will be here when you all get back. We will have your rooms waiting for you, both of you. And Prayaria's father does that guy one-armed hug thing where they hook you in. And he hooks you in, Samson, and holds you close to him and whispers in your ear, "Thank you."
It was my duty.
And he lets you go. And unless there's anything else you would like to do here.
I do have something else I'd like to do.
Okay.
I'd like for us to I want to prompt Prayaria before we leave, because I like to imagine that we have a good meal and we hang out here for a little bit and drink and
Watch
dine a
the
little
magic show.
bit. Yeah, we see the magic show, obviously. But I want to prompt that before we leave. But after that, I'd like to ask Prayaria to take a walk with me.
All right, she will accept.
But is there anything Prayaria wants to do before we leave?
I mean, of course, she'll enjoy seeing all of her siblings. But other than that, no, she's good.
The air's a little different. Your parents are smart. They understand that now's not the time to be sad. You have to soak up as much happiness as you can. So for a little while, you pretend like the world isn't ending. Your siblings rush in. They ask you about the human with the chocolate and where is he? And they're disappointed when you tell them that he didn't come.
He has to see about the pig.
But eventually, Samson does kind of tear you away from your family to talk with you.
Oh, well, at some point in the festivities, then I will go to Prey and say, "Hey, Prey!
Yes?
Hey, you got a second? Did I introduce you to Thalon?
No.
Well, here, come. Well, will you walk with me? I want you to meet him before we leave.
Of course.
Yeah. Okay. And then I'm gonna begin the process of getting us out the door and saying all the pleasantries to people and begin walking towards the Fayhope on the hill where Dallin is buried. And while we're walking, I'm gonna pull out that or I'm gonna look over, I'm gonna talk to Prey, and I'm gonna say, hey, you got that vial that I gave to you?
Oh,
The
right,
one
yes. Luden's vial.
yeah, the one from Luden. I was wondering, I do you know what that is? Can you look at it and maybe identify that real quick?
You knew what it was.
Of course, I tell everyone I know everything. It's not true.
I forgot,
Um,
yes.
I don't know who it is, but I thought it looked like something was coming from Luden, and I wanted to figure it out. It looked like a woman. I thought maybe it might be his mom. Thought you might know. You thought you'd be able to figure it out.
We did bottle pretty fast.
Yeah.
Alright, Perion will cast Identify on the vial.
Okay. It is a piece, a small piece of a soul.
It was someone, or is.
You just don't know who.
Whose?
I can't say.
What do you mean you can't say?
I can only tell so much about it. It's someone's soul.
Do
Or a piece of it. It's incomplete.
well, that sucks. What
Do
do we?
you think you'll want it back?
Luden?
Yes.
Well, no. I mean, I don't think Luden. I mean, he might, but I mean, if you can't tell what it is now, I don't know if it's going to be used to anybody, right?
I mean, if it went to him, I assume it might be someone he knew.
Guess we could just let it out, too.
It didn't seem like it was going to hurt him.
It looked mean to me as we begin walking over there's a small river beside the hill. We go over that covered bridge. It looked super rude to me. Like I thought it was about to eat his whole life. I don't know.
Well, Luden looks rude to us a lot. Maybe it was his family.
Well, Luden is rude to us. Oh, it could be his family. That makes sense.
No, I think he has a grumpy face, but he loves us.
I have a grumpy face.
You have a face.
Thank you. I don't know. I guess I thought because remember when we did this on when it was Cassius in here, we were able to figure out who it was. I thought we'd be able to learn.
Oh, did you?
Constructs. Yeah.
Is that how you? I'm sorry. I apologize. I didn't know. I couldn't. I didn't know I gave you the identity in there.
Well,
it is.
What do you knew of Cassius?
Cassius. Cassius, yeah. It is a shred of Luden's soul.
Of Luden's.
Mm-hmm.
It feels very much like him.
So it's like you think maybe it's his brother or something? It's just someone who feels like Luden?
If you remember, Cassius was when he talked about shadows. He talked about shadows being so connected to the person that they're connected to. It was like guessed that he didn't have parts of his soul. And you remember Luden got upset about like, what are you saying, Cassius? What are you saying?
I'm saying it feels exactly like Luden. I think we should give it back.
This soul feels like it wants its own room in a hotel. This soul feels like it orders a Trenta water with no ice from Barbucks.
This soul is yelling about its lost soul shoe that should be around here somewhere.
Oh, okay. So maybe we should just let it out once we get back. Maybe we tell Luden. Is it you thinking maybe it's his shadow? Because remember, he didn't have a shadow for a long time.
Could be, yes. The Veilwalker did have kind of a steeze for shadows.
Well, I see two options. We could either give it back to him.
I think we should give it back, yes.
Well, hold up.
Okay.
Or also, as I'm trudging up this hill, or if he dies, we can make sure we can use this to like tie his soul to the material plane, so he doesn't go away forever.
I'm not sure Luden would like that.
Well, Luden doesn't like anything.
True, but he has very strong opinions on mortality specifically.
He does have strong opinions. I guess we could just ask him, right?
At the least, we should.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We should follow the town.
You make it to the oak.
I feel like it's dark
Yeah.
as the sun sets. Does the wild have stars?
No. I don't think it does.
So we stand there amid this entirely black sky, uninterrupted by clouds and simply the fading blue of twilight as the everlasting sun sets. And there we sit in front of Thalon and his grave beneath the oak.
I will look back and forth from the grave to Samson, waiting to follow his lead here.
This is so this is Thalon. He died a long time ago. Kind of doing what we do now.
She'll kneel down and touch the earth of his grave. Was he scared?
Yeah. I wasn't there. I found him later. He was a lot stronger than I was. So, he wasn't exactly a thinker type either. When we found him, there was no better way to say it, surrounded by foes. Dead ones, but he was gone too. It just didn't work out for him. Bad timing, I guess. And Samson will lean down next to, or sit down next to Prey, at Thalen's grave. And where Prey has touched the ground, he'll put his hand right next to hers, sitting there. And he'll begin to whisper, almost talk, to Thalen. and as he does, I like to imagine that the little bits of grass all around the grave and underneath the tree, as the lights, as the final pieces of the sunset fade, I like to imagine that there are dozens at first, but a growing number of green and purple little fireflies that begin to inhabit the meadow. And sitting there with Prey, or with Alan's grave, he will say, I'll be home soon, Captain. He'll reach down and put his hand on Thalen's tombstone and say, I have been drinking all night and half the day. I am not feeling my best, and things have not gone according to plan. But the last hand has been dealt, and at least this time I'm holding a flush. Right? Yeah, Noah. And there's this like uproar of the lights all around them, and they start to swirl around us. He says, no. They're just like us. I've told them, just like I told you two, that we should all just go the fuck home. And we should dance, and we should drink, and we should fuck. But that's not really how it is. It can't be. Because it feels like it did back then. It's back before. When we couldn't lose. But I'm in the after now. Samir wouldn't let us quit then, and Finn's not gonna let us quit now. Our foes are many, our hearts are strong. And Samson beats his chest twice. But I swear, even our wild shakes now. And the river's rising in Thalen. I cannot stop this rush, and my cup runneth over. I'm almost home. And I like to imagine that all the fireflies begin to circle around them and begin to break their rhythmicness of whatever connection they had to Thalen and begin to disperse and randomize and ambiance the space.
And I think Prey, who will have whipped around to stare at Samson at the mention of him being home soon, seeing these fireflies, feeling the wind pick up all of this, feeling the undeniable presence of Thalen. Just maybe one silent tear comes down her face as she watches the fireflies disperse. And she'll look back down to the grave, and just breathless, full of awe, will say, "It has been a pleasure to meet you, Talon." And then she'll look at Samson and thank you.
I like to imagine that they will come up and like all of the fireflies all at once will just encircle and all like land on Praeria like little butterfly kisses everywhere. Because there's no way Thalon doesn't love Praeria. He couldn't do anything but.
Prayari is the only person that Thalon loves that isn't
Yeah.
you. He
He
hates
throws
everyone.
rocks at all the rest of us.
He hates everyone else.
I reach over with one finger over near Prayari's shoulder, and I let one of the fireflies walk from her shoulder onto my finger, and I will say, "See, look, he likes you, of course. Who wouldn't?" And I'll watch it kind of crawl over my hand. I'm glad we did this. Sorry, I just sometimes I get caught up.
No. No. She doesn't really know what else to say. She just continues to let this moment wash over them.
Yeah. Hey, I figured out. I figured out how we can save you.
I said, it's okay. You don't
No,
you
no,
don't
no.
have to feel responsible for what? You're doing the thing you do again, where you take on all of the responsibility, all of the guilt and I never wanted you to have to do that for me.
I don't think it's for you, Pray. I really don't. Look, let me explain. Let me explain.
Okay.
I have lived longer than anyone should. And no one understands that because no one's lived this long. All the people that I knew are gone. Dallin is gone. Samir is gone. Everyone that I loved is gone or is dying. And then his eyes drop from Dallin back up to Prey.
She's still
Prey,
just
when
letting him continue.
when all this is over, there are only 3 choices for me. 2, really. 3. We'll say 3. Death should always count. I might be gone. This might cost me everything, and it might be over. And I know I'm happy with that. Too long in all of this. Or I might live. And if I live, I think if I live, then you will live. If we both live, then one day you will die. And so for me, I cannot be in the world where Thalon is gone, and also are you. So I can either leave this world and go on to the next, Or go on to Celestia or Avernus or whatever's next for me. Or I could take this curse from you. And you can plant me right here next to him. And I can watch you rule these lands. And then I will pull out the knife that Samir gave me. Because I think if I return the favor, the curse will go from you to me. And I'll bring you back.
She's just blinking repeatedly, opening and closing her mouth. What do you say? What are you saying?
Oh, suddenly you forget that, like, the first time we met, you stabbed me in the chest.
How could I forget that?
What?
What does that... How would that...
Every time we kill one of these things, the curse passes from one to the other. I'm the only one here. If I kill you now, it'll go from you to me. And I'll bring you back. And then we will move on. And then we will win. And you will rule. And you'll plant me here when the time comes.
She is just like staring dead into his soul, trying to figure out how serious he is about this, how certain he is that this will work. Because she meant it when she said she doesn't know if she can hope for anything. So what does she see?
I think that Samson... I like to think that Samson's really hard to read. He is an immortal fae who has lived countless years and dealt with thousands and hundreds and possibly millions of intricate conversations. I think he's someone who is very hard to read. And I think that Thalon is not. And I like to imagine that in Samson's face is genuine honesty. But if there were a spectral spirit Thalon behind him, it would be someone who is shining with anticipatory glee, hoping, wishing, not wanting, but hoping behind him.
I think more silent tears will join the first as she realizes what this means to him. And she'll look down at Thalon's grave and then back up to Samson. And at the blade in his hands. When we win. When we both survive. I will let you kill me.
Samson's gonna, I imagine at this point they're both kneeling next to, it's very morbid, next to Thalon's grave. It's very sad. But sitting there, I imagine that they're both on their knees, sitting there by the grave, having this conversation. I like to imagine that Samson would lean over and give probably the biggest hug he's ever given anyone.
She'll hug him back.
Yeah. When we get back, that's gonna be way harder. We can do this, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Samson's gonna kiss her on the cheek, real quick, not fast.
She'll allow it. She tries to wipe the tears from her face.
Samson has to use like a handkerchief, but he gets it. we should go see Gwen. I think she wants to know the shot at the magic show before we go to bed. Yeah.
She just nods.
You all make your way back to Samson's estate as the last light of the Feywild fades into night. And there you take your long rest. You enjoy Gwen's socially awkward magic show. Morning arrives as Esperise... Go ahead.
I think at some point during the night or very early in the morning, when her brother's estate is asleep, she's going to either slip under the door or put on one of those, little entrance table in that front central area, just a note for her brother that essentially says that she remembers that she made a promise, that she is coming back, and that she will find the time to learn to be his sister again. And she says goodbye, puts it there, but she's not going to have that conversation with him.
You slip the note under the door and return to Finn. Mm-hmm. That's when you finish your long rest. The rest of you wake up that morning as you prepare to leave the Feywild. There's nothing else, if I'm correct, left for you all.
I mailed the book to Esperise's house.
What book?
Oh, I had the book the whole time. Don't worry about it.
No, the book I got from my house, Mommy's Monsters. I mailed that to her house.
Oh.
Esperise,
No, it won't arrive until after we're all done. This is
Okay.
every law. Because
Okay.
of the time skip and stuff.
Okay.
It has to go to it has to go to FayX and then come back. And then come back. It's 2-day delivery. It'll be a while. Yeah.
I would also like to note that Finn writes his the last letter before the battle to Cyprian.
What
I'm not going to read it out.
Do you not want to read it out loud?
No, not right now.
Okay.
Not right now.
All right. And with that, before you all, I guess everyone rejoins and you return back to the material plane. Do you come back to Saltstone?
I think so, right?
Yeah, we go.
Samson.
Yeah. We pick them up and we go back wherever we left Luden. What was Luden doing while we were gone? Happily taking a rest, getting a good night's sleep.
Chilling.
And make you a snog.
I think Luden was just preparing for, like, he went and while you guys were gone, he went and got just loaded up on arrows from the armory. Like I said, he took off his armor. Kind of reflected a little bit. Luden doesn't really have anyone to say goodbye to. So he's just waiting. For a little bit, I guess, goes through his head that, like, oh, that's kind of sad. But he also thinks to himself, like, I mean, but that's what living life is for, finding those people that you can say goodbye to. And he doesn't think that it's his time to say goodbye to anyone. Obviously, like, he still, like, likes Hennevi and honestly most of the people in the in Saltstone in general. I mean, like, he's acquaintances with and somewhat friends with. But when it comes down to it all, after this is over, I think that's when he's like, my life can really begin. So he's taking it all in stride right now. Just waiting. Arrows ready. And then he's just waiting to have a conversation with Prey real quick. But otherwise, he's vibing, y'all. He's ready to go and end this thing once and for all.
You all return to Saltstone. And as you regroup in the foyer of the Grand Hall, that is where we will take our break before we go to the island. So we'll see you all in a little bit. Stick around.
Lamentium, Floortide. These Zodiac-inspired powers and more await you in Stargazer's Guide to Aurora. Available on DriveThru RPG. Destiny is calling, adventurer. Look unto the heavens. Your story is in the stars.
Well, hello there. Of course you came to the grand dwarven city of Digbrand to see me. Ma Belle Pebblegrit, tale extraordinaire to kings, queens, heroes, and legends. Have you gazed upon my latest masterpieces? Yes, this one for you. Don't you see how it calls to you, speaks your name? You are gorgeous, darling. The colors, the line work, the gods weep in the presence of your beauty. No one has looked more stunning in a pebble grit design. Please, I cannot bear to gaze upon your perfection for too long. You can find this mesmerizing merch at inkinliar.com. Go and unleash your fabulosity today and help support Ink and Liar. Do stop by my shop again. You simply must tell me about all that adventuring thing. Well, ta-ta, darling.
From the pocket to the table in seconds. Never forget your 1020 at home. Only at mitheраlarmory.com.
Extra, extra, read all about it!
What's that you've got there, mister?
Why, this right here is 9 Realms Gaming.
9 Realms Gaming?
That's right, top-notch gaming accessories made from some of the finest woods this side of the city has to offer. We got your dice vaults, we got your dice towers, dice trays, hero vaults, you name it.
Oh my!
Careful now, don't swoon into traffic. You can mosey on down to their website now. Use exclusive partner code LIAR10 to get 10% off your purchase.
What was that code again?
That's LIAR10. LYRE10 at 9realmsgaming.com. Hurry, they're selling like hotcakes.
Happy New
Happy New
Year.
Year.
Happy New Year!
We're
Wow.
back. All
up?
right, jumping back in as you all pack up the Vardo one last time.
Ludin would have 100% straight up been like, finally! Oh, what's with all the long faces? Let's go kill a god. Yeah?
And the thunder as you say that.
You look really happy, Ludin. Are you ready?
Yeah. I'm not afraid. So let's go.
I look at Prey and I'm like,
Yes, she's.
Ray! Can
Samson?
I have Swoley?
Yes, I'm so sorry. Oh,
wait, who?
she like goes to give the vial back. She's like, yeah, yes.
Dope.
Of course.
Here, you can take mine.
Okay.
Swoley, let's do this.
Who are you?
Bud,
Who are you? Do
I'm-
you
I'm-
kill things? Do you kill things?
Swoley, listen, sir. Listen. Swoley. I'm going to be your best friend. I'm going to show you so much death. How would you like to be one of the few weapons to have killed a god?
Oh. You.
Yes!
If I had hands and arms,
If you had hands.
and arms, I would embrace you in the most.
You don't have to finish that sentence,
know-
Swoley. I got you. You my bro. Let's...
This is really weird.
I long to taste. Do you think gods bleed? Oh,
Hey,
we're gonna-
Swoley, let
we're
me
gonna
help you find out.
We're
Let's
gonna
help you
find
find
out.
out.
We are gonna find.
Alright.
We are gonna. Hey, you know what? I like you.
I like you too, Swoley. I like you too. So the only rule that we have over
And
here,
and
though,
we're best friends now.
the bestest. The only rule, Swoley, in order for us to murder the god, we have to sneak up on the god, right? So we have to be like
right.
really, really silent. But the moment that we unleash, scream your hearts out, okay? So save your voice.
I will
Save your
scream,
voice.
and I will not stop screaming until this god has ended, I mean, of course, we end them.
Perfect. All right, and then I'm just gonna put Swoley inside of my.
And he's just gonna keep rambling on, like, and let me tell you what.
All right.
I'm gonna use my special zodiac ability to make a small shot glass appear in my hand, and I'll pull the rum off my hip where I always keep it. I'm gonna pour a double, and I'm gonna pass it over to Finn. I was like, "Are you okay? I know that was hard to hear. He became friends with him so fast, and you've been working so hard for so long." And I try to hand him a shot of rum.
It's only friends with benefits. I only want something from him, and he only wants something from me. It's nothing. It's nothing. It's nothing on a spiritual. It's all physical thing. So it's okay.
Everybody always likes Ludin best, and Ludin always likes everyone else best. He's gonna throw the shot glass.
I can promise that Ludin does not like me best. Does that help?
Yeah.
All right,
helps a
who's
little.
ready to kill a god?
I brought pancakes.
Woo!
Right
The
now,
only food I eat.
Well, I figure we should all probably get a meal in before we do a lot of goddess killing, you know.
And I just want to make a note here as Akron kind of folds his arms as he is back now and he looks at you, Ludin.
Because
I ignore him. I don't
Brandon
care.
is not here, I'm not going to roleplay the scene. Esprit is so excited that Akron is here. She loves you guys. She trusts and loves Akron. So she's not with any of you.
He comes up to you and he smiles and he wraps an arm around you.
She's so excited to see this again. Okay.
Yeah, whole wall between all of that, whatever that is. Ludin ignores, doesn't even like speak to Akron at all. Says makes a point to say hello to everybody else but Akron.
Make sure to tell Brandon that.
Oh, 100%. Brandon's prepared. The moment that he sent that message in there, me and him had a conversation today, and it's all good. He'll be prepared and ready for roleplay whenever we do this thing. And Finn, come here.
Yeah?
Take this, and he will give you're not maxed out on magical items, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you my bow. So I will send you all of that stuff later, but basically if you need a quick escape or some out of line of sight and all that stuff like that, or if you want to just try and wrap up any of Vera's cult followers like that, you got 6 charges to do some crazy stuff.
You give him your bow?
Yeah.
If Sully's just kind of mumbling get the rest of your shit out of here. I'm the only thing you need.
I will give actually, you know what? Yeah, I'll give Finn all of my arrows except my +1 arrows. So I'll tell you about those later.
This is where Ludin put his fingers.
I'm gonna need you to stop already.
And found so many
I need
creatures and stuff.
Okay. This is a mistake.
Okay.
All right.
I'll put it away. I'm just a little excited. It looks so cool. It's like smooth and shiny and black. Just like our souls.
God.
Oh my god!
Finn just sounds like the whitest guy coming up and be like, "Hey, homies, how you doing, homie G's?"
I guess Luda just gives like a almost like just a quick side eye to Prey. Like, are you seeing this?
He makes it a point to look away, like I see nothing.
Why is everyone acting so weird? Come on, let's go.
Okay.
Guys,
As
get
I
the
eat my
Vardo.
pancake. All right, what way, Finn?
Okay, so he's gonna look up the window and be like, I think
Nothing
that
but
way.
thunder and just chasms. Like the sea has been completely drained away. There are some trenches every now and then that have become more like tide pools, where the ocean life has kind of like been trapped in. But it's very much almost like Moses walking through the ocean.
So I'm sitting here and I'm getting ready to drive Payeska and drive the Bardo on the way. That way is not exactly the best description fit. I pull out a map. Could you maybe give us a little bit better description? Because that might help a little bit.
Yeah, what are we
I mean,
Can you kind of pinpoint it where we're going? You know,
when I snuck off the island, I was kind of under the bowels of a ship, so...
Okay, I got one.
I think it's...
What way were you coming in when you came to Aurora? Like, this way towards the Cambria, this way?
Please don't say the sea.
Oh, yeah. I saw the big Savion church coming in.
From what angle, Finn? What side of Savion's church?
The back?
Okay.
Look,
so
I'm sure
Do you know how? Can we get there, Ben?
We can get there. I know we can. It's in the middle of a lot of water, so I think if we just start driving...
Like the ocean?
Ben,
Yeah.
there's no such... The ocean's gone, buddy.
Look,
everything's in the ocean.
You're just rocking back and forth as you're moving.
Finn, we had so much time for you to think about this. So much.
I
like
just
to think
never.
Prey and Esperise are just having tea while this is happening.
I just never actually thought I would have to go back until now. We are going back, and so,
Okay. So
I'm sure my anxiety will like peak as soon as we start to get like really close, and I'll be like, oh yeah, this is definitely where we're going. Or maybe he'll look out the window again. Maybe it's the spot where all the water's fleeing? Like, it's an island, right? So if all the water is leaving, maybe the island lifted up like Lacambria.
I think it might be reasonable to conclude that it is the eye of the storm.
Ludin stares at this level 20 cleric who doesn't know his way home.
That's probably where it is.
And starts to try and track, I guess, this place that he has no idea and figure out where it might be. I guess he'll talk with Samson up front.
Is there a giant ass eye of the storm, like way out in the middle of nowhere? And then I missed out on description because I wasn't paying attention.
Well, I think there's reasonability that like you can see where the storm is worse.
Like if we look around, like there's some like gray clouds over here, but then there's like the mountain of death that direction.
Blacker clouds, yeah.
Okay.
The man that I reported
clouds.
to at the Temple of Remblace told me a little bit about where he came from. Did he ever use the words north, west, south, northwest, south? I know it's definitely west.
I can answer this question. Lauren has never used those words in her life. So they definitely did not.
Okay. I gotta try. I can try.
You know what? Just give me a survival check from the group.
There we
please.
go. There we go.
Everybody does a survival check? That's not great for me, but okay. Does Akron get to do a survival check?
Yes. I don't have his thing open though, so.
I have
and
him.
he's not leveled up to level 20 either, so.
Well, I'm gonna use his level 13 stats because they're better than my normal stats.
I'm sorry, guys. I know I'm supposed to know.
He got a 7. Did I even roll? Did it work?
No.
Okay,
Akron rolled a 1.
Okay, let me see what Esperise rolls then.
I swear, if I'm the highest...
24!
There you go.
I
got an 18.
Reyna?
Oh, right. Sorry.
I got an 18. Esperise got a 24.
Okay.
I got 15.
Akron got a 1. What a hero. Uh-oh, Prey! Look at that, 27, Prey!
27!
Prey is one with the winds. They blow her around.
Everyone knows better than Finn does, which is fair.
So it's Esperise and Prearia having tea in the back of the Vardo who figure out where we're going.
Hey, I have a pretty good idea. I would have got there.
I had a 14. I think that's that good. Especially for not knowing where it is.
Same.
Yeah, Akron obviously has no clue. He's just chilling in the Vardo, and you guys actually rolled really, really well. You get your bearings, and you're able to make your way out towards the island. Is there anything you would like to say or do before you make it to the island? Alt C, Reyna.
I'm trying. I gotta go into the settings and do stuff. For some reason, it doesn't work.
So, in true silent fashion, we should probably make some kind of strategy. So, I'll just have you know that. And he's like mixing the pancake batter, and he's like making it. I guess over a fire. I don't know.
I just got like a produce flame or whatever in my hand, so you can cook the pancakes. I don't think we have a stove on our caravan.
Yeah.
What if you just like took Gardo's forearm?
There you go.
He superheated it.
Yeah, I'm just holding flame below his arm so that you can use it as a kind of griddle.
So my island is divided into 4 different seasons. But probably not anymore because it's all kind of mashed into one season. But just so you know, there's a lot of very zealous people there. And so when we first approach, we might want to be careful because, well, they might try to kill us.
Okay, is it okay to kill people on your island, Finn? These are Swoley and I need to know these kinds of things to start out with.
This is a great question. It's a great question.
Oh my god.
I mean, we do have to defend ourselves, I guess. My family might try to kill us too.
Would you prefer that we incapacitate instead of?
If it's possible, yeah, I guess.
All right.
What about?
They're all war clerics, so good luck.
Okay, so what the Finn? I can't. Let me put it this: if they hit me hard, how about we just respond in kind? How is that?
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah, like warn them. Be like, hey, like I'm really strong, and if you try to kill me, I'll kill you. And then you warned them. So.
As
perfect.
While you were on the island, because I think I'm fair to assume that because this whole thing happens with Vera, they're zealous to Vera, yes? I assume?
Yes, so in the middle of an island, there's a tower. And okay. I was never able to go there because it's only for, like, people who get their chrome eyes, and you have to be, like, 300 years old, so. But things happened there with the elders that I never knew about. And you know, after being on this adventure and everything, I kind of assume that's where they're keeping the Everbloom tree, which is the tree that promises Vera's return. I assume that's the tree we saw in my dream, the one they're feeding people to. So I assume that's the one that we're headed to.
Just for clarification and establishment, everyone that you know of who lives within that community worships Vera and will be working with her and for her upon her return.
Yes. Everybody has a different job on the island, but basically they're all huge Vera nuts. Basically, I was raised to worship Vera, and you know, they really like her. They're really into her. It's like that old religion thing, you know? And then none of them have really left the island, so they're kind of stuck in their ways. And apparently stuck in their ways enough to want to bring her back.
Okay, Finn, we've been having everybody let others take lead. Why don't you take point on this one? And we'll get our keys from you, okay? We're gonna obviously kill Vera, but, like, do you think we should go in quietly? Do you think we should go in... I mean, I guess day and night are kind of relative when the storm is crackling as it is. What advice do we want to do when we go in on this island? Because once things pop off, I don't see it slowing down.
So, I'm gonna be straight with all of you. Roll his shoulders.
Okay.
I don't know if we can go in stealthy. If we try to, and they try to get us, if they see us, they will try to kill us all. So, they're going to be protecting that tower. Like, everybody's gonna be there.
Is there a situation where they would not be trying to kill us all? Like, is there a possible... I don't know. Like, we are delivering the blood or something like that where they wouldn't. Or is it just inevitable?
Well, here's the thing. They have Revenier's body. And he looks to Samson because I think they're the only ones.
I think we didn't... Did we tell everyone?
No, we didn't. So they have Revenier's body.
Yeah.
And...
They what?
So, yeah, they sort of... Revenier's body. So, what they're probably going to be doing is trying to focus on doing the ritual with her. And so if we can catch them in the middle of that, I don't know what it looks like, to be honest, so I can't tell you. But Reuven told me not to come back, which means they already have a plan to fulfill the ritual. Yeah. Samson.
Who's Reuven?
Oh, sorry. Reuven's my brother.
Oh, you have a brother?
Yeah,
Oh,
he's...
that's so cool.
I guess. I mean...
Luda's just listening to this lore drop. Like what is all this information? Okay, so we're going in not stealthy. We're going in hot. Are we going in arrows blazing, or are we going in with...
I believe that we are going into a precise location.
But is Finn going to be the one like on top of it screaming, "Hey, stop. Let's not do this," or are we just trying to stop them immediately? Like, you know what I mean? Because I can fire quick.
Maybe it would be best to just go in assessing the situation. Can we all be stealthy enough not to get caught?
Yes, we can.
Is there...
Luden, how far away does your
30 feet.
locate an object?
Oh, 1,000.
1,000 feet?
Yeah.
A corpse is an object. We should be able to find Revenir fairly quickly.
You get me above the island, I could do a quick flyover.
Yeah, Samson can do that, yes.
Yeah, no problem.
And then... quick flyover.
I guess I just don't have faith that we're going to be like, stop this, guys, and they're going to stop.
Yeah, that's
I have
fine.
Yeah, I have a follow-up question.
Okay.
So, you're describing to me an island that is exclusively devoted to Lady Vera, whom we've spent the better part of 2 years. No, it hasn't been that long. 8 months or so. I'm not forgetting the time in the Feywild because the time skipped. Here on Material Plane, the better part of 3 years, trying to make sure the remnants of her power are destroyed, and we are very clearly on the side of opposite Vera. Is there any reason to suspect that the people on the island would be kind to us in any way because we have the exclusive purpose of destroying Lady Vera?
No.
So, Finn, can you give me one good reason why we should consider everyone on that island our enemy?
I don't know, because they were raised that way?
Because they are his family.
That's a
And
good
because
reason.
we have done many things for family members.
That's a good reason. Do you feel that way, Finn? Do you think they're still your family?
It's complicated, okay? Like, I just found out that they were raising me to sacrifice me this whole time. So it's like, what is that face? You know that, Samson.
This is completely new information for me.
You say that every time.
Every time. Look, I'm just trying to look. What I want to understand is to Luden's point. Do you want anyone left alive? Does that matter to you? And if so, who?
Reuven, keep him alive. That's my brother. You'll know him when you see him.
Okay.
I'll point him out.
The bookkeeper's son.
Oh, that'd be nice too, but I bet you he's a huge Vera fan. What's important is everyone here gets out safely. So, if you have to, put yourself first. Don't risk yourself in order to try to not kill them. But if we can manage, I would like to see if my brother could be kept alive. He did allow me to leave the island, and so I feel like, in a way, he's on our side, even though he doesn't really understand what he was doing.
So I give Luden a look that says, okay, so you hear that? No shooting Reuben in the head. And I look at Esprits, no burning him alive.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I gotta.
Don't shoot him in the head either.
Yeah, like, it's cool. Hey, Gardo, find which one's Fern's brother, don't touch him. Like,
Bang, bang, bang! He bangs his arm.
Gardo would never, neither would Pray.
yeah, like, it's cool, Finn. I just need to know, again, who not to shoot, non-lethal force, all that stuff like that. I'll make sure not to kill your brother, just like y'all made sure not to kill my dad. I did that. It's one of those things, you know, like, I'm fine with it all. I just need to know rules of combat before I go there.
Yeah.
I understand
Finn gets
this.
dibs on
That's
killing
fair.
his brother.
If it looks like they're trying to help us, then, I mean, I'm not counting on it. I'm not.
Where is this? Where's this? First of all, dope ass names on the island. Where is this Everbloom Tower? Where is it located?
So basically, we've got all 4 seasons all around. I'm from the Spring Court, and so they all come together in the middle to this tower. So it's going to be in the very middle of the island, and you'll see it because it's really, really tall. The tree's not tall, but I'm going to assume the tree's in the tower.
Okay. So, sounds like from the sky is definitely the best way to enter. And, meteor style. Just, let's try not to get struck by lightning, but come down, surprise, die Vera.
Yeah. If I
We win.
could just strategically, it depends on what everyone is ready to do today. If we want to do something where you can turn us all into, where we can change back and forth into things, we can carry Luden so that he can locate object on Revenier's body. We locate where things are going to happen, scout around the island, come down, rain of fire upon whatever they are doing. Does he sound comfortable to everyone?
Sure.
I think so.
Are we expecting anyone to meet us there?
Well, Tassa has Revenier's body. That's the only thing I know.
Who is Tassa?
Who?
That's what my brother said. Tassa is the guy who was at Revenier's funeral and took my hair when he hugged me, I guess.
Somebody took your hair?
Yeah.
Did you tell us?
But I didn't know that at first. I kind of realized it after the fact. And then he sort of disappeared, so I forgot about him for a while. But then I asked my brother who took Revenier's body, and that's the response I got.
I'm gonna be honest, Finn, this is not the information I expected to get when I woke up this morning. Like, I thought we were going, okay. So Tassa, the one that knows when and where Finn is at all times, has
He's like
the body.
part of the cult that worships Vera. Who doesn't worship Vera at this point, right, guys? I mean...
Insight check on Finn. What the frick? What insight?
You think that
check
one
on
bitch
Finn.
from Aurora's Blessing who worshipped Vera, do you think she's part of the cult? Because she was like, oh, whisper to the
She's
autumn.
100% a part of the cult.
She's going to be here, and it's going to be, at least for me, going to be very satisfying.
Aurora's Blessing's
Aurora's
dead.
Blessing is dead.
Yeah.
Oh.
They're
Unless
dead,
she killed
remember?
them.
Except unless she's the only one who's still alive.
She's a loyalist.
Look, not everyone that believes in Vera is evil. Cassius believes in Vera, but he believes in the old Vera, not the new and improved Vera.
Finn, it comes
Hesperus
down to
carefully avoids eye contact.
it's a lot less about if they're good or bad at this point, Finn. Remember, take any morality out of this for a second. It's about what you want and you want to save your brother. It's about what we want and we want to kill Vera. If we start thinking about these people as good versus bad, we're gonna get an arrow to the throat as we're like contemplating, but do they want to do this? That time is past. We can't worry about being good or bad people.
Look,
The worlds are ending, man.
look, Luden's right. Honestly, if we had not... Look, we took Cassius, we took him back to the Feywild, turned him to stone, and I feel like had we not, Vera would have already unlocked his heart, and he'd be killing us right now. But we've done that, and we've saved your great-grandpappy's life. Right? We did that together.
Yeah. And we can do this.
Yeah, we're going to do this. We have to do this. That being said, remember rule number 1, because it's the only rule that matters right now. Everybody come back alive, please.
No promises.
Yes, promises, actually.
Would you like to approach the island before you do next steps?
Have we eaten all our pancakes, guys?
Yeah, Luden's been stress eating this whole time. Like, what is this?
Luden's got like a small little belly. You know, little boop,
Hesperus. Man, we're heading there and I'm gonna use a spell slot, huh? Yeah, I'm gonna use a spell slot. She's gonna send a message to Asteria as they're heading out. So, I understand that we are not always on the same page. The invitation still stands. We are doing our best to do what is right, as I believe you were trying to do. I hope to see you soon. Yeah, I thought so. She tried, and she eats her pancakes.
Ludin's out there doing push-ups on top of the Vardo. He is pumping himself up. He is getting prepped. This is it. This is his Super Bowl right now. This is what he's quite literally been training for this entire time.
Super Bowl.
Yes, this is Ludin's Super Bowl. He knows he got it. We got it. We have to have it.
I think Finn will send a message to his brother. I think it would make sense. Or maybe he'll mention it aloud, because I see Christian's face. Finn, I think Finn will be like pacing in the Vardo, and he'll be like, should I send a message to Reuven? Should I prepare him that we're coming?
Why don't you tell him, like, as we're coming? Like, give him the decision as we are falling out of the sky to stop this ritual.
Is a warning really necessary at that point?
It's a lot.
Finn, message your brother. Don't listen to him. Go ahead and message him now. Nothing he can do can stop us.
I don't know, bro.
Finlay, what do you want to say to him?
I just want to let him know we're coming, I guess. I don't know. Because he told me not to. And he might not expect us.
Are you asking for permission or forgiveness?
No, I just don't want to... I guess I just want to give him the opportunity to choose to help us. If he's really on our side.
Then let him know.
What do you think, Prey?
I think you know your brother better than any of us. If you think he really would, I think it's worth a shot.
I'd like to believe that he would.
All I know about your brother is that he's rather a lot like Ludin. And as Bruce is going to lead that conversation about how that bodes for us as...
Ludin just thinks in his head, I would murder every single person that gave me the chance to know that the enemy is coming.
And so Finn will go to the window and he'll look out at the approaching island. His stomach is sinking with dread, and he's just like, I never thought I would ever have to come back here. And he closes his eyes and he sends a message to Reuven. And he'll say, oh gosh, okay. Rue. I have to do 25 words, right?
Yes.
Okay, Rue. I know you told me not to come back. We're here. I respect you. No, love you. See you soon. That's it, I think. How many words do I have left?
I wasn't counting. I was trying to think of a
You
response.
got about 6 left.
Let's see.
You don't have to use them.
Stand down, my dude.
Stand down, my dude.
I don't know. Like,
Ludin's army is here.
I don't know.
I believe you'll help us. How about that? I believe you'll
help us.
And while that's going on, Ludin is sitting there.
Deuces broski.
Yeah, there you go. Ludin's sitting there watching Finn do this and just thinking, like, he knows this isn't the right time. But Finn has never cast message or sending or any of that stuff. Ludin looks over to Esperis, looks back to Finn, and thinks of all the thousands of times we've been together where somebody needed a long, like, if we could talk to this person, it would be great. If we could talk to this person, it would be
Finn turns
great.
around and sees Lou's face, and he's like, "What? What? What?"
Ludin is going, or Esperis is going to gently lean into Ludin and say, "He is very young."
Lou's just gonna walk up to the top of the bar and do some more push-ups. Just keep smiling as he does them too. Oh, Finn.
What's this island look like as we approach?
All right. Finali. Bend my mic closer to my face here. Your island is hidden by magic. You know this very well. Only a rare trade agreement allowed outsiders a brief glimpse of this hidden sacred world. They were restricted to the shores, forbidden from setting foot on the sacred land of the Four Seasons, where all balance converged. This is how you came to be, as your father met your mother, and her intentions of greater purpose brought you into being. And now, as you gaze out, you see your island. You remember it divided into the Four Seasons, represented by each of the Eladrin elves that live on this island. Winter, summer, autumn, and spring. Each segment of the land a perfect representation of their native season. And in the center, a beautiful tower resides, rising up into the sky with an ancient tree, with roots so deep it's known as the oldest tree in existence. At least that's what you were taught. Only the elders may enter this tower to gaze upon the tree, and those who reach their 300th year and receive their chronis. But you don't see the tower. You don't see the crystal clear blue skies. You almost mistake it. That can't be. But as each of us are born with a star that points north to the places we are most familiar with, the places we've grown up with. This is your island. But as the sea has receded and drained away, your island is no longer an island, but now a small fraction of a mountain, the peak of a mountain that was hidden beneath the dark depths of the ocean like an iceberg, hundreds of thousands of feet below sea level, now above sea level. Another earthquake shakes, and a chunk of that, what remains of your island, collapses, rolling down the side. Steam rises from catastrophic fissures and cracks, running up the sides of this mountain. The Four Seasons have been torn asunder, and an ominous red glow strikes the heavens like a beacon, a warning. You see the remains of homes and buildings cascading down the sides of this mountain, as if they were caught in a landslide. Only the crack of thunder and the shrill howling of the wind scream through the air. The wind, a sickening mix of hot to icy cold to warm and back. Maddening, destabilizing cycle. And in your study of the Lady Vera, the verse you never quite understood now rings true. So she sleeps beneath the mountain. Our Lady rests and resides. The time will come, the four will set, and the fifth will take the tides. And surrounding this mountain, you see 1,000, maybe 2,000 Eladrin. Some wearing robes of white with wreaths of oak upon their brows, many wearing heavy armor with familiar falchions at their belts. Some families raise their hands to the skies towards the great mountain, but all of them look to be waiting. At the epicenter of these people, you see a very large tent, which you're guessing is where the elders must reside, and another small tent next to that. You can see that that small tent is heavily guarded. Around the side of that, you see some of the Eladrin are stacking up bodies. Dead bodies. 30 or 50? Placed around the base of the mountain, just stacking them up so. And that is what you all see.
How do you want to proceed, Finn?
That small tent there, where all the Eladrin are, that must be where Revenier's body is. What do you think?
Makes sense. What do you think your brother is?
I don't know. He's gonna squint towards the cluster of people with the falchions. Does he see Reuven?
You're too far away, unless you want to be noticed.
Okay. I can't really see him. Maybe we have time. Maybe we can still get Revenier's body back. If we can take her body back, then maybe they can't, I don't know, complete the ritual.
How many people do we see, Lauren, in front of that tent?
Guarding the small tent? There are probably 2 at the entrance of the tent and 6 surrounding it.
Okay.
But
Well,
you can't see
yeah.
anything else outside of that.
The other thing we should probably do is maybe target those bodies somehow.
So
Those bodies
they're all Eladrin, by the way. You can tell that they're all Eladrin. They're dead bodies.
Those bodies are being given to her. Think about it. Do you remember in my dream all the dead bodies in the roots?
I believe that might have been what has been happening to your elders all along.
So...
Make a perception check for me.
Who?
All of you.
Okay.
Esperise didn't do so hot.
24.
And Akron got a 21. Esperise got a 14, Akron got a 21.
20.
I got a... Go ahead.
I was going to say 24.
I got a 19.
And you got a natural 1. Ludin...
For a total of a 12.
Ludin, you are the only one who notices. It was a very difficult roll at this range, but you kind of like squint your eyes. The bodies that are being like placed around the base of the mountain, you kind of see the armor. It looks like there was a struggle.
So they didn't want to die. Okay. Or they had
painful
death.
You see some tarnished parts of their armor, some blood along their necks. They look like you've seen combat a lot, and they look like there was some sort of struggle.
Okay. Well, didn't look like they wanted to die. Or at the very least, they were in pain while they died.
I honestly... Do we think that removing Revenier's body is going to make a difference at this point, or is it too late?
Can we make a religion check too, to figure out like what we're looking at? I understand that like all of this stuff is processes, all this stuff like that, but like, and I understand that the 5th season is already here, but in terms of the energy and feel that we're feeling right now? Is it the sense of Reveneer is already here, or she is waking up? Like, because the earth has already been shaking, all that stuff's been going on. Like,
I think it is safe to make your own assumptions about all of that based on what you see and hear right now.
Okay. I think that we should go in prepared to fight Vera. I think that that's the best thing that we could do. And regardless of whatever happens, if we can stop the ritual, if we can stop anything, that'd be amazing. But if we go in under the assumption of, let's save our spells, let's save our huge attacks, let's save all of that for this potential god that we're going to fight, I think that's the best use of our time. Because we can sit out here all day waiting for her to pop out of this giant mountain, but I think regardless, we're still going to have to go through all of these people or at least sneak past them.
So, but shouldn't we, I mean, they're highly protecting the tent. Shouldn't we try and see what's in it?
We can, 100%. Yeah. I'm just saying, when we do that, or if we do that, that needs to be our time to go in. Like, there's no slowing down to speak to anybody or trying to sneak or anything like that. We're here.
Okay.
Is that okay with everyone?
Do we want to do an overhead before, or do we feel confident in what we have seen so far?
I would love to do an overhead before, just in case on the other side of the island there's, 100,000 troops just waiting, you know what I mean?
Do you want me to do the way the birds fly in the V formation? I could be in the front because I will notice if there is any kind of illusion in front of us. Then Luden could actually be searching for the things below. Just in case, do you remember on the fucking tropical island where there was an invisible barrier that teleported us to fuck all? Hopefully I will be able to notice that before it happens while we're doing the sweep through.
That works for me.
Is that alright with Samson? I know that uses a good deal of your energy. Is that alright?
Well, are we all going? Or just you and Luden?
Up to all of you. As soon as we start any of this stuff, I'm gonna buff myself anyway, so that if crap does go down, I will be prepared. I just need to know, who's coming along. Or
if you want to preserve some of your magic, Samson, it makes sense to send the most, perceptive people, right? So not all of us have to go if
we're coming back.
Hi. Okay, that makes sense.
So I have two options. I brought two things for that. I brought three things for this. So what I can do is, because Luden's about to be able to fly, you brought that potion, right?
100% I brought that potion.
So what I can do is I can give Espris a lovely firefly from hell, fast wings, and I can make you a bird, and you can follow.
I can also fly. I'm just slower, so if I just hold on to him, I can.
I can just make you a bird so you can go fast, and then you can fly. You fly along with Luden, the two of you can go together and come on back. The other option I have is we can all go, and then if the opportunity arises, we can pounce on whatever it is going on.
I do want to point out that there is smoke coming out of the top of both tents.
Yeah, we don't feel like we have a huge amount of time.
No. Okay. I just mean just to point out like there's a fire, like a.
Do we see any of the bodies being moved into the tents, or are they just being piled up outside?
They're just being piled outside. Just like what I'm essentially telling you is there's a campfire. There's just a campfire, and then there's smoke being there's an opening in the top of the tent, and smoke is exiting out of it. Mm-hmm. Just a campfire.
So the other thing I can do is I have brought a special skill today just for such an occasion. I can take us either directly to Reuven or directly to Reveneer, and I can give us a special little our little friends, and I will reference some little fireflies that are floating around us. I can find the path directly to Reuven or Reveneer or whatever. I just need to name something, and it will tell us where that it is, no matter what it is.
May I pitch? If Ludina and I go, we can be invisible, scout just a bit, while you are finding the path to Revenir. We return, go with you, just to give us the best overall view. Is that comfortable for everyone?
I can. So if Revenir is within 1,000 feet, I can definitely know exactly where she is. I think that might be better to use on Reuven, because that's a lot harder to locate, or he is a lot harder to locate. If I'm invisible, and well, hold up, Finn, can your
I would
people
say
see
greater
invisibility?
invisibility does not last that long. It is not. It's not something that could last for an hour or so. It's only about a
You can
minute.
do regular invisibility, right?
Mm.
Me?
No.
Yeah.
You
He
can do
can.
regular. Okay, do we want to just do a low level regular invisibility? Me fly over there as fast as I can, using just fly over, understand where the 1,000 feet, understand if Revenir is there or not there, and then just keep going. I can come right back here.
I'm nervous about you going alone without an ability to communicate back to us if something goes wrong.
Well, the big thing is, if something does go wrong, mechanically speaking, I have a plus 12 to initiative. If something goes wrong, I'm immediately casting all of my buff spells, and that's when I can go like 500 something feet around.
In character, if
Yeah.
you are not back in 120 seconds,
Come at me.
we're going to find the path and come get you.
Perfect. Does that work for everybody? Awesome. All right. I'm gonna cast Longstrider on myself. I'm also gonna cast Freedom of Movement on myself, and I am going to. Yeah, might as well. I'm gonna go ahead and drink that spider potion and roll to see how many legs and arms I get.
Okay.
So this will be for legs. All right, so 2 extra legs, so that's an extra 40 feet of move, or no, that's an extra 20 feet of movement.
Jesus Christ.
And roll for arms. Oh, only 1 extra attack, which is fine.
Are you just like flapping your legs as you fly? Like,
So you are just like a horrifying bird to look at right now.
Yes.
You are something out of like an Edgar Allan Poe, like Cthulhu.
Yeah, this is an illustration that was in Mommy's Monsters. It's right there.
So that being stated, with all of that, I will go ahead and also drink my fly potion. And Finn, if you cast invisibility on me,
Aren't you a bird though?
No, I'm
just
still a
took a potion.
person.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
He's Peter Panning it. Just
Okay. Okay.
pixie dust.
All right. Let me write down those legs and arms. 2 legs, 1 arm. Okay. Let's do this.
All right. Invisibility.
All right, Ludin flies up a little bit and shoots off like a missile. And he casts Locate Object on Revenir.
The spell fails.
He turns around immediately, comes down and goes, all right, guys, bad news. I'm still invisible while I'm talking all this. I cast the spell, and it failed. I don't know what that means. So maybe divination stuff doesn't work here.
You mean she's not?
I'm just letting you know the spell didn't work. So
doesn't
that
mean that she's not nearby. It means
Exactly.
probably.
So I'm gonna probably have to go do this analog style.
Well, Samson, if you are comfortable, you can find the path, can't you?
Oh yeah.
Or is that also
I can-
divination?
It's definitely divination.
Can we do an Arcana check if it's anything similar to the last time we were on an anti-divination island?
Maybe it would make sense to just find. Well, I was gonna say
Yeah.
find Reuven because he's gonna know what's going on.
There are 2 strong explanations for why Ludin wasn't able to locate object. It is either A, Revenir is no longer an object, or B, the island is protected. And Ludin would know which one it was because he was the one who cast the spell, yes? Which one was it?
Did it feel like being counterspelled or dispelled, or did it feel like, oh, that thing isn't here? Because we've cast it without the thing being there before, I think.
Oh yeah, it's just a moving beacon.
It feels like it feels like it failed because Revenir is not an object.
God damn these necromantic elven sons of bitches.
All right.
God, the cleric side of Esperise has been disgusted ever since she saw that pile of corpses. Just as a holy woman, she's disgusted. She's revolted. She dedicates her entire.
All right. Well, Ludin explains that and says, "Okay, so step 2. Now that we figured that out, do you want me to try and can you describe your brother for me real quick? I can see a quick pass by to see if I see him at least."
Sure. He's really, really big, and he's got long, dark brown hair in a braid, and he has maple leaves in his hair.
Okay.
And he has lots of scars on his face. He has a falchion on his side. You've seen a falchion, my spiritual weapon.
Yeah.
And he's in heavy armor. And he looks like me probably a little bit, you know, because, you know.
All right, so Ludin thinks all of those things, and he flies up, and he shoots off like a missile, and looks for Finn's brother. Just a real quick pass by, just go like, does anybody match that description?
Give me
Everyone on the island matches that description.
I was thinking that too, but I'm like,
give me an investigation check as you're flying around as a abomination from hell.
Hey, you got to become an abomination to kill a god. 29, so it's a nat 20.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah, you find him immediately. It turns out he is one of the guards of the smaller tent. He is guarding the front, next to another Eldrin elf. And he is, it looks like a woman approaches actually. She's very tall, well-built, blonde hair, with cherry blossoms, very intricate war braids, and she looks at him. He looks very solemn, and she enters the tent. And he just kind of looks down. He looks down as she passes very submissively.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I found him. He's in front of that super guarded tent, right?
Yes, he is one of the guards.
Okay. And are there guards behind the tent on the other side of the tent?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just gonna fly up above the tent and just try and get a quick listen if they're saying anything in there. What they're talking about.
Well, like I said, there is a hole where smoke is coming out.
That's fine.
So
I'm just listening.
Okay.
Yeah.
As you listen, you hear, "Wake up, blasphemer," and you just hear a There you are. I was beginning to think we were showing you too much hospitality. Now, I'm gonna ask again. You've seemed to be very put together. But you've also lost pieces too. Let's see if you'd like to lose another finger. Now, who else is with you? Silence. Come now, surely you're not working alone, coming out all the way alone. There's bound to be someone else with you. You wouldn't be that foolish. You hear another smash and a crack. Is it really that so hard to believe?
that one single person could kill so many fuckers.
God dang it. Luda just thinks to himself, like, why? Okay, he flies back over and lands near the group. All right, okay.
What did you see, Ludin?
Okay, your brother is in front of the big one, the big tent. Esperise, did you tell Asteria to come here?
Sorry, Deanna needs a minute.
Who's Asteria?
Asteria, I told everyone that I had invited Asteria.
She might be. She might be. Look.
Who else did you see?
Let me be 1 sec, Finn. I'm gonna be upfront with you right now. Okay, I'm gonna be really upfront with you right now. If you want to go kill everybody over there, we are behind. I am behind you.
Where is she?
In the tent. Hold up. This is a now thing though. Like if we're going in hot. Everybody needs to be prepared for that. Okay.
Like now?
Right now. Yes, now.
Who else did you see?
I saw your brother and a tall lady. Then I don't know who else.
What did the lady look like?
She was tall. She was tall. She was an elven. Yeah, she was a little bit, but like, and her hair was blonde. I don't. Your brother apparently didn't like her.
Bardo is moving.
I need to know what she looks like. Did she have cherry blossoms in her hair?
Yeah, she was probably your mom, dude.
That is my mom.
That's your mom. She's torturing Asteria. Don't kill the messenger. I'm gonna fly straight up into the air, and I'm gonna be like, "All right, guys, I'm provide support from up here. Let me know if you need anything." I'm gonna leave Swoley in the back still. I'm gonna wait till somebody else attacks first, and I'm gonna let them do what they need to do, just in case we are just.
Just how far away are we?
A couple 100 feet.
Couple 100 feet, like less than 500 feet.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so a couple is more than 5.
I'm trying to think of how
Is my
far
dimension door over there?
into the tent.
Yeah, essentially.
Sure.
Who's coming with me?
I guess I will.
Well, honestly, yeah.
Yeah,
it
is.
Is that what you're asking?
Samson by the back of the neck. And we dimension door directly into the tent.
What the hell?
I swoop down and grab Freyaria, and I'd
What
be like,
about me?
"Hey, you!" And then I look at Finn. I say, "Dude, go handle your girlfriend. Dimension door, dude." And I pick up Prey, and we both start flying towards.
When we arrive, I turn into a T-Rex.
Whoa! Who are you dimension dooring with? Samson?
I'm taking Samson with me directly into the tent.
You dimension door into the tent. Immediately, boom, you appear. You do see hands tied around the pole of the tent, bleeding, missing 2 fingers on their left hand. Asteria, the tiefling. You see that familiar, those golden scars across her skin where she was put back together as a statue. She is currently just hanging limp, blood and teeth kind of pooling out in front of her. And you see Finalized mother, bloodied, heavy armored fists as she has been beating and torturing Asteria. She looks up in surprise.
Bonus action, Esperise is going into the mode full of glory. Ghibli hair, white eyes, white hair, red everywhere. You will regret what you have done.
Because you are all level 20 and gods, the way I would like to do this is I would like to give you guys the most badass, moment that you could possibly have. Depending on what you would like to do is going to cost you, but I will let you know what those costs are. It's gonna cost you like spell slots or whatever. But
do we want to do this on initiative then, so it's
yes.
not just me saying, and now we are doing
yes, all of you do 100% get surprise. So we'll do this all on initiative. So yeah, so please roll initiative. You like I said, you are level 20. You are basically God. This is your moment to be as kick ass as you possibly want to be. Let me get some thumping music in here real quick.
Well,
she's being tortured to death, you guys.
I got you. I said I'm behind you. I said it.
We were gonna go into the tent anyway.
Just bring Prey and Finn with you. It'll be fine. We're already here.
They'll
be dead. They'll be dead when you arrive. They'll be dead.
I can't roll initiative yet.
Sorry. Hold on.
Yeah, I just rolled a d20.
I rolled an 8.
We can put it in a notepad. This isn't your typical initiative, so it is going to be a little bit different. All right, so
17.
17 for Esperise.
26.
26 for Luden. Praeria, what did you get?
Oh shoot.
Samson, what did you get?
Sorry. It's not
it's okay.
Samson got it. Samson got an 8.
An 8 for Samson. Okay.
9.
A 9 for Praeria.
I'm in the sky.
And I think that's it. Akron is there, but I don't know if anybody wants to portray Akron in this moment here.
We can wait for him.
We can wait. I don't want
Bardo. Akron's bringing up the Bardo.
Akron's just like
Let's go. Get out.
Akron's doing a slow run along the beach.
I got a 19. I was not prepared to.
And 19 is Finali.
Mm-hmm.
So, Luden, you are first.
All right, so Luden is flying up with Prey. I assume at this point, I'm still invisible, but he will, as he gets towards the tent, drop Prey off a little higher than himself. And for my anime entrance, Luden pulls Swoley out and Swoley wraps around his arm into creating his own little longbow that's made of like pure gold almost. As he lands, the ground cracks beneath his feet. They don't see who he is or what he is. Finn drops invisibility. Swoley extends out into the full longbow. His eyes are black from the hand mark. He wears no armor. He looks up, smiles, and as Praeria is falling, not from a long height or a height that would make her take basically any damage, he looks to all of these zealots and he says, "It's a great day to kill a god." Draws out an arrow and then knocks it, prepared to shoot.
All right. Finn.
So Finn is probably the last one out, I think, off the Vardo, as he is and he dimension doors, but as he's dimension dooring, he is coming down from the sky, basically mid-dimension door. He is arcing down and he slams into the ground and just pummels forward. He is running and he is thinking to himself, shit. Oh my gosh, no. And then something in his mind just clicks and he goes, no. We've got this. They're going to see what I've turned into. They're going to see the new Finali. And as he's thinking this, the snake on his arm transforms into an ever everbloom tree that's on fire, and it's blazing all up his arm. And he's got one hand that is glowing this bright healing green, the normal hand that he heals with, and then this other arm with the tree crawling up is this dark green necromantic energy that is just overtaking each arm. And he lands, he runs, and he doesn't even really look at the guards twice. He does take a glance at Reuven, and he kind of gives him a wink as he goes through the tent flaps, and he looks at his mother, and he's just like, "I'm back, Mom."
Esperise! Esperise, if you would like to murder Finn's mother in this moment, you may do so.
I don't know if I have the action economy to do so, and everyone should be allowed to murder their own mom. Essentially, what Esperise does is when she is on the Vardo, a green door just comes into being beside her, slams open the door, essentially just pushes Samson through the door with her, jumps through, lands almost coming from the ceiling of this tent, seeing Asteria there, seeing this bitch who is causing all of these problems. She doesn't even touch the ground. She hovers off the floor as the veins spread out from her wrists, across her arms, across her chest, up into her face, looking almost like the cracks of gold across Asteria's skin, but this is a deep, dark red of blood as the rest of her skin pales. Her eyes pale into a pink color. Her hair that she normally disguises self to make seem like her normal black is down to that gray-white floating stick straight around her, holds out one hand, goes into a state of glory that has her glow and fill up the entire tent with this radiant light of judgment, turns to Finaline's mother and says, "You will regret everything that you have done to them before this is done." And that's all she does.
Bad ass. Praeria.
Praeria, as she is falling from the sky, gracefully, intentionally.
Bird bones.
Bird bones, yes. Is lightly descending from the sky. She's going to reach behind herself and pull a scythe from like the negative space around her. She will summon her moon scythe. And as the light from... What time of day is it?
Storm.
It's hard to tell with
10 a.m.
It's storming.
I gotta... As light from some light source glints off of the scythe, she disappears. And lands somewhere within the space.
Somewhere.
She's around.
Samson.
Samson arrives. And typically Samson will show up. He is some sort of giant ape stat block with... typically speaking, he's some sort of viney plant-like creature that resembles an Abrius or a bear or something of that like. But that is not the case here. This is not a time for protecting friends. This is about doing murders. And so Samson arrives as a blackish shadow story from a nightmare. This creature that just oozes muck, and each step is a gloop, but it's way too fast. I kill 8 Eladrin in like 10 seconds as I polymorph into this giant T-Rex and begin swiftly but surely murdering everyone who isn't named. Like if you don't have if you are a red
if the DM didn't give you a specific name, you
need to have a personality and have more about you, more background than arrow through the knee. Otherwise, you have been gobbled up by the stories that haunt children. As Samson murders everyone who isn't important. destroys the tent in the process because he grows to he's about probably 40 feet long, maybe 10 feet tall, this long, lanky piece of shadow that immediately just starts consuming and stomping Eladrin into the sand and dust. It's gruesome. It's gruesome. For sure.
The tent top is ripped off. You just devour Eladrin as you just move through this space. They're all taken by surprise. Finali's mother shakes for a moment, like she starts shaking a little bit for a moment and pulls out her sword and screams, "You are fallen. Outcasts and blasphemers are not welcome here. I suggest you turn around and leave."
Oh. I don't do that, but I would.
Finn will take the bow that Ludin gave him, and he'll point it right at his mother's face. And if we don't...
She turns to look at you, just stone-faced.
I throw one of her guards in the ocean.
Where's Arvin, Mom? Is he still sick?
I shoot.
Why shouldn't you be at his bedside right now?
You watch as your stepfather runs up holding a sword from the other side of what was the tent, and he's looking at you. You see,
I whip around and shoot him in the face.
You may do so if you would like to murder him. Go right. What is you just? Is there anything special you would like to do? Any kind of cool pizzazz, or do you?
You got 40 fire arrows, 40 ice arrows. You got your pick, man.
Father, more like Wasder.
I think Finn will use just one of the regular arrows to do it. He'll whip around and he'll just shoot that arrow, and it goes right through Arvin's face. And he looks back at his mom and he goes, "Looks pretty sick now, doesn't he?"
Oh shit!
With a very casual flick of her hand, Esperise is going to incinerate his body in holy fire.
Your mother, you see the muscles in her cheeks tense and like her gaze just hardens. Your brother is standing behind you, and just like so much has happened. She looks at you and she says, "Even if you slaughtered every last one of us, you cannot stop what has already begun. The 5th season has come. It is fate. Vera will make the world anew, and we will be there to rebuild and begin anew. She will raise her loyal followers, all that you slaughter, who have ushered her home."
Are you ready to go home, Mother?
I'm ready to die for my cause.
There are small black tendrils of vine and black smoke that come up around her feet to hold her in place.
And Finn walks forward and he gets another arrow and he points it at her and he says, "You were willing for me to die for your cause too. And from all of my days out there with my friends, that's not what a mother is supposed to feel for her son."
You were never a son. You were merely a tool and a gift to ushering in the 5th. No more. Could not look at you and see you as more than a disappointment.
I don't need your approval. And I don't care about your disappointment. And he's going to lower his arrow so that's not pointing at her face. And he's going to find the nook in the chest of the armor and he's going to shoot through there. So it hits her right in the heart.
You shoot, and it goes through, and she just goes. Deaths of the blasphemers who worship the false gods. You are all a necessary casualty. Those that worship the true gods may be spared as she rakes across the land. And you will see blood begin to trickle down the side of her face. So she sleeps beneath the mountain. Our Lady rests and resides, the time will come. For set. She doesn't even finish, and she falls to the ground before your feet.
And before any of the people outside can do anything, Ludin steps up right next to Reuven. He takes out Swoley and turns him back into a sword, or Falchion himself. Keeps his hand next to Reuven so that he can't move. Grabs the rest of his arrows that are like just shoved next to him. Throws them up in the air. Casts Gust of Wind on every single guard near him. And his arrows just fly into them. Just killing every single guard on this side.
You do so, bodies drop. You feel the light leave them as you see, and this gust of wind just raking out across as the thunder cracks across the ceiling.
And Ludin just whispers as he does it, "Funny thing is, your souls don't belong to Vera anymore. They belong to a demon in hell."
Esperise inside the tent is going to... Finlay, may I? As she's going to bend over his mother's body.
Right. He's gonna bend down and he's gonna take his mother and drag her out of the way.
If you don't mind. She's going to fully stick her hand inside the hole in his mother's chest, put her other hand on Asteria, and essentially work like a blood transfusion to completely heal Asteria.
And
you may do so.
Just full blood bending, just dark black blood between them.
I think while she's doing that, like the adrenaline comes down a little bit for Finn, and he bends down and he closes his mother's eyes because he's nice. He's a good person. He's gonna close his mother's eyes and he's gonna like wipe the hair from her face and he's gonna say, "Goodbye, Mama. I hope you find that paradise you're looking for." And he'll stand up.
Well,
you watch as Esperise transfers, just like your mother, as you close her eyes and you finish saying that goodbye, just her body, just like a grape turning into a raisin, shrivels right before your eyes. And as you all, Asteria is essentially unconscious, but she is fully healed. She is stable. She's still missing her fingers, of course. You do see them lying on the ground next to her in the dirt and mud, but she is stable, and you do heal her. As you all take them, go ahead.
Samson?
Samson, the last thing Samson does after holding the mother hostage or in place for a little bit, the last thing Samson does during this whole thing is he chases down the one who ran away and makes sure they have 7 to 8 seconds of just absolute pure terror before he just rips them in half and leaves their body to rot, and then comes back. But whoever was running away back to where they were supposed to go, he chases them down.
I'll bring Reuven back inside. I'll go ahead and take that falchion, turn him around, and just push him towards Finn.
You just push him very like a jailer pushing a prisoner towards Finlay.
And then I'll take off and just make sure nobody else is coming towards us. And if anybody does decide to show their face, they're just gonna get an arrow to the head.
Esprit is fully.
Imagine while you do that, Samson is just murdering, and you just run out there to join him to just murder the rest of the Eldritch.
So sorry. The first
Let's
sight.
just also assume Prey's out there doing murder.
Yeah, Prey is out there. Like, Prey is out there. You guys are just out there doing murder. Prey, what did you do? Everyone else has had their cool slaughter moment. What do you do?
I mean, she was invisible, just waiting to see if anybody's gonna try something on the sly. But no one did.
Well, you know what? No. You went invisible. You watch as someone attempts to run up and stab Finlay in the neck from behind.
Well, that's cute. So they're stopped abruptly by a giant scythe blade at the neck.
Just decapitate him.
Finn doesn't even flinch.
Finn doesn't even flinch.
He's just focused on everything else.
Just little bit, like a couple drops of blood, just boop 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 right across your cheek from behind.
Might be my mom's blood, might be somebody else's. I don't know.
No, I got all that blood. Don't worry, baby.
All right.
I think the first sight that Reuben ever sees of his eventual sister-in-law is her hand deep inside his mother's chest. She turns over her shoulder, blood kind of sprayed a little bit across her face from the transmutation she had done. Shakes off her hand, rises like a specter to just loom over Finlay a good half a foot taller and stare Reuben down during whatever conversation they're about to have.
And Finn will turn around and see his brother, and he'll look a little unsure at first, and he kind of grips his bow a little tighter, but he lowers it a little. Are you with us or are you against us, Reuben?
Do I much have a choice?
You do. They had a choice too, didn't they?
You didn't really ask, did you?
You heard, Mother. She made her choice, and you can make yours here, right now.
He unsheaths his falchion. Nothing?
He's gonna he unsheaths his falchion. I think Finn kind of grips his bow a little tighter, but he hasn't given an answer yet, so he doesn't move to do anything.
He kneels.
What are you doing? This is very unlike you.
He will attempt in very religious and holy cleric fashion, will attempt to fall on his sword.
Oh, okay. Finn will lunge forward and try and grab the sword and kick it to the side so that he doesn't land on it.
Let's get some combative dex rolls.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. Dex. Am I doing a ability check? Is that what I'm doing, or what am I? Okay.
Can I give guidance to this?
You may.
Okay, so that's D4.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, 24.
You definitely beat him. He attempts to do so, and you prevent him from essentially an honorable samurai death, which is what he is trying to do.
So Finn lunges forward, kicks the sword off to the side, grabs Reuben's hair, jerks him up. Their faces are inches from each other. He looks at him, and half of him is just so angry right now, and half of him is pleading with Reuben in his eyes. And he just looks at him and he's like, look, we are not trying to destroy Vera. We're trying to put her to sleep. You know this isn't how Vera really is. So you can either help us or you can die, Reuben. And I don't want you to die, but I'll do it. So please, are you going to help us put her to sleep so that she can peacefully sleep?
Give me a persuasion check.
Oh my god. Okay. Okay, all right, 27.
Damn, that's a good roll. God damn, that's a good roll.
He's burning into Reuben's eyes with his own.
I guess your brother's not gonna die today. He looks at his mother, like his mother dead on the floor. He looks at all the carnage that is happening around him. But he is not one of many words, and he just kind of like, he relaxes and he nods. He fine. There's nothing left anyways.
We are left.
As far
Now
as
pick up your... Go ahead.
As far as I know, I'm going to die regardless.
And you can die fighting. Just like a war cleric should. Now pick up your falchion and lead us to where Revenir is.
He picks up his falchion and he sheathes it. She's gone, Vin.
What do you mean she's gone? Her body was gone. You told me.
I did. Tassa brought her body. And I was not allowed to go in. This was before the mountain destroyed the island. Her body was brought by the stranger, the Tassa, brought her into the sacred realm where the Everbloom tree is. And when she emerged, she was not dead. She was dead no longer. The man, creature, I don't know, darkness poured from his eyes. He wore some sort of metal mask of sorts. Mother said he made a deal. He had brought her body because he knew that we needed the blood of Cassius. And you, of course, were not here, and we could not persuade you to come. And it turns out he was just as desperate as we all were. But I tell you this, whoever they brought back is not who he intended it to be. I've never seen eyes redder than the ones that she donned.
Are you talking about Vera?
No. Talking about the woman he brought with him. The one that was dead and now lives. He was content to take her and go wherever it was that he wished to go. Mother said love makes people do stupid things, and some people cannot let go when their time is done. He made a deal, and Vera provided. But there is a cost. When life leaves and it is meant to leave, and you attempt to change it, to reverse the nature of the cycle, not everything can live forever. We tried to explain that to him, but he didn't care. He didn't care as long as air flowed through her lungs.
So they're gone? They're not even here anymore?
No, they're not. Her blood was given. The mountain split, and the seas receded. And Vera wakes.
And it's about time we pay her a visit, isn't it?
Speaking of, as you are all having this conversation, you all watch in horror as the mountain cracks and a hand pierces up through the peak. The sad remains of your island crumbling away as parts of the mountain cascade in a landslide of boulder and debris of land. Everyone make a dex save.
What if I don't want to?
Prayer with disadvantage, please.
Us?
9.
Can I make it with advantage because I can't be surprised?
That's fine. Oh, prayer, that's a natural 1.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna do Acronym.
No. You have this is an environment effect, so you have to make a straight roll, Christian. Sorry.
And then Akron got a natural 1.
Akron didn't even make it up here yet.
Okay.
Akron's
Okay,
still
we'll say he's not here. Is that okay? I got a 20 though. Espere's got a 20.
I got an 18.
18.
Okay. Akron fails. Praeria fails. Luden, you're good. Daniel, Samson, what'd you make?
9.
That's a fail. So the rest of you will take half damage. You all
So it
take-
starts.
We all take 100 points of damage.
You
To
take
begin.
37 bludgeoning damage as massive boulders and rocks come pummeling down the sides of this mountain.
Is that already halved?
No, it's not.
Okay, great. No, that's wonderful. So that's
Just come pummeling down the side of this mountain. Another hand next, each hand the size of Lacambria as a whole. Horrifying to behold, you watch as each hand braces against the outside lip of the summit, and one deafening move tears the top half of the mountain in two, and emerging in a fury and sending a cascade of rock and mountain to the seafloor is Vera herself. Her massive eyes without pupil, a swath of vein and tree root flowing from her head like a crown, veins trickling up through the roots, down her neck into her body, a combination of vein and root. Tall as the mountain that she has just destroyed. You watch as she throws large chunks of the mountain and remains of the island off her body, sending them hundreds of miles out into the distance. There, fully formed, burning with a rage that spans the beginning of time, the beginning of the new pantheon, the avatar of Vera's wrath. Awoken at last. Priaria and Finn, this time, it's no nightmare. This is real. And the words of that nightmare ring out now louder than they did that day you dreamwalked.
I am the Great Mother of the Earth. I am the harvest. I am the mountain. And you will beg for the end before I am through with you.
I'm Ludin Archbane, and I'm gonna kill a god today. Bitch.
And that is where we will end tonight's session.
Ooh, that was crazy.
That was crazy.
Oh, man.
Oh, this is gonna be great.
It's always so fun.
Next week, Brandon will be joining us as a return of Akron for the final big boss end of game battle between the avatar of Vera. And we might have a guest. We might also have a guest player as well. I won't spoil it too much, but yeah, just wink, wink, wink.
Oh my god.
Other than that, let me thank our new followers this evening and all that good stuff. Thank you, Roll for Gravity, for the follow. Thank you, Hatcher Actor, for the resub. Thank you, Hello Love Doves, for the resub. Slayer Geezer for the resub. Hi, friends. I've missed all of you. We've missed you too. We missed you too. And thank you, GF Powers 4, for the cheer of 201 bits. Great episode, such drama. There was a lot that we had. Oh, I didn't realize that was in front of my face until just now. There was a lot. There was definitely a lot packed into this episode, guys. We had a lot to get through. So, but very, very exciting. Very, very exciting. Thank you all for joining us this evening. If you enjoyed watching our show, please join us for the last couple. We only have, 2? Possibly 3 for the epilogue. We are going to have an epilogue episode at the end, but roughly 2 episodes of Fate's End left. This final battle is going to be intense. There's going to be a lot. And we hope that you will join us for the final couple episodes here at Fate's End on Mondays at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time as we bring this campaign to a close. We also have other shows on our channel. On Wednesdays, we have our Iron Valor show where we play through Wizards of the Coast modules. We're currently playing through Spelljammer. We missed last episode because we had a couple people who were sick, but this week, you can join us on Wednesday. Deanna, you want to tell us about Spelljammer?
Yes, at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time here on twitch.tv/InkandLyre, you can join us for Spelljammer, which is a game where we explore the astral sea, hopping from dimension to dimension, solving problems, mostly creating them for ourselves. We are all dropouts or rejects from the Spelljammer Academy who are now dealing with the problems that Spelljammer has had a large hand in causing. Currently, we are visiting an old classmate who has managed to rip a hole between the planes of earth and water and create a tear within the weave itself. We think we might have closed that up, and now we got to figure out what to do with that classmate and with a mind flayer who might have been controlling his mind. We are looking forward to a Zone of Truth trial as the peoples of earth and water decide what to do with these people before we go and tell the intergalactic radio channel about what the Academy has done. Join us. Wednesday night.
And if you've been watching this evening, you've been earning Valor tokens. They're free. You can use them for free. It's a nice, fun little thing that we put. We make our Wednesday shows a little bit more interactive, so you can use your Valor tokens to redeem luck for players, bless the party, curse the DM. Lots of fun. So make sure to use those Valor tokens on Wednesday and join us on Wednesday. Other than that, we're gonna find someone to raid, so stick with us. We will see you next Monday for more Fate's End. All right. Night, guys.